Radio Talk Online with your host, Melanie Fine.
This is Melanie Fine at Radio Talk Online. Today we're talking with Benjamin Liasco of Liasco Properties. Welcome, Benjamin.
Hi, how are you? It's actually Liasco Partners.
Liasco Partners, thank you.
Yes, sorry. When I was an individual realtor working for Windermere, and then with Greater Palm Springs Realty before I became a partner, I used Liasco Properties as my kind of DBA. But once we formed the business here, since I have made and bequeathed, or not really bequeathed, but just gave stock shares to all of the realtors, I decided to turn the name to Liasco Partners, since everybody is basically a partner in the firm. It's kind of like an ESOP, employee stock option plan. So
right, wonderful.
That's what it is.
It's
okay.
Good to know, and that distinction's important. So you have big news this week. Tell us about it.
Well, this has been an ongoing thing and a dream that I've had for many years, to basically have the quintessential real estate office in the Coachella Valley. And I have the utmost respect for, Windermere, that does $1.8 billion a year in sales and has 890 realtors or whatever, obscure number that they have. But I really wanted to build a business that would be synonymous with success, with, kind of the old school top drawer mentality. That's, you're not just a number. And I wanted it to be a reflection of me, my lifestyle, my beliefs, kind of, if you will, a Martha Stewart in real estate. And I became a partner at Greater Palm Springs Realty. I bought into the company, and it was a wonderful stepping stone for me. Learned a lot, learned some incredible business tools, and also learned what I didn't want to do in a business. And basically spoke with my partners and let them know that I was going to go out on my own and open my own brokerage. And I'm still a partner at that firm. I still own 10% of the company. But I wanted to, well, as I said, I wanted to open up a brokerage that, I had the best of the best realtors. Some of them were specialty, nuanced type things. So certain people are REO specialists, short sale specialists, high-end property, vacant land, commercial, so on and so forth. But what it's actually turned into is everybody's kind of a little mini expert at everything. And I've really gone after realtors that I felt would be an asset to the company and would help us grow and become, a world-class brokerage.
Terrific. And you just moved into your new office this week or last week?
We did. We actually moved in. We officially opened August 1st, and we actually moved in on the 5th because we had one more coat of clear seal going on our concrete floors, and they couldn't be walked on for 72 hours. So we actually moved in on the 5th, and it was quite the ordeal with, I had everybody here, from computer programmers to movers, electricians, painters. I had everybody here, kind of the alarm company, the copy machine people dropping off. It was just everybody. Sign people here putting signs. It was a beehive. And I'm kind of the queen bee at the hive, as people say. Just buzzing. So we actually moved in for 2 days. We're basically now up and running, and it's actually phenomenal. I've been told by everybody that on the internet and on Facebook and just from the photos that they've seen and people stopping in that it's unlike anything in the desert, and we've actually raised the bar and set precedents now for any new business that's going to be opening. There's no reason why we have to go with the status quo of the way things are designed or decorated or presented here in the desert. I'm from San Francisco. I'm a native San Franciscan. I love the New York loft look, and I love the Beverly Hills chic kind of Hollywood Regency look. So what we kind of did is we mashed everything together. We have natural stone, a rusted steel wrapped lobby area when you walk in, a marquee wall with the name in silver leaf with a 19th century Baroque French console under it with a big beautiful floral arrangement on it, steel case cubicles, Ming Dynasty black chairs in all of the offices, nickel sawhorse desks with 3/4 inch glass. I mean, it's just really uber high end. And the kitchen that you can see from the main lobby, is a glass front refrigerator with Caesar stone and walnut veneer cabinets with Hansgrohe fixtures. I mean, it's just magnificent. It's what you would find in $1 million house here, and that's kind of what we wanted.
You wanted to give that the look of the type of house that you represent.
Right, exactly. We've got floor-to-ceiling glass. It's light and bright and airy, and it's a dream. It really is. It's actually, I can't even believe that I actually get to come to work here every day. It's kind of my piece de la resistance, if you will. As Bette Midler said in one movie, I can die now,
So tell me, and we're just off we're on the way up off the bottom of the real estate market. What do you attribute your success to be able to do such a huge project when so many realtors are really feeling the pangs of a very, obviously we're not at the bottom anymore, we are moving up, but you've been doing this during this whole process. How have you been successful in a market that generally hasn't been successful?
Well, that's a very good question, and I actually just got a phone call from a realtor at home the other day, Home Sotheby's, to ask me what my success is. I guess that was one of his homework assignments. I started in 2007, and because we're a second home vacation destination, Palm Springs, everybody was giving up their second homes before AIG, said we needed a big bailout, before the big three in Detroit needed a bailout, before Bernie Madoff admitted to stealing $50 billion. Before Wall Street crashed, we were in the hole with 9,000 properties on the market and about probably 3,000 realtors in Palm Springs. And just so you get an idea, that's like 5 years worth of inventory, and or more could be. And the bottom line, I didn't know anybody here. I actually was bored. I was laying at the pool one day. My partner said he's going back into the banking industry. We were kind of took 2 years off after moving here, and he's going back into banking, and I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to do? So I ended up calling the realtor that sold me our house and said, hey, I need something to do Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and I want the weekends off so I can lay at the pool. And he said, well, my transaction coordinator's going on maternity leave. You're great with files. I know that from the auto industry. Do you want to do it? And I said, sure. So I got trained, got my real estate license. Before you know it, I was a realtor. And, I guess I would have to attribute, to answer your question, to tenacity. I won't let it die. I just believe in, selling autos in both Gulf Wars. The market can crash. You just need to do what you have to do to make it happen. And if you want to sit back and listen to all the negativity of everybody, doom and gloom, the sky's falling, you can sit back and accept that, or you can put blinders on, not listen to it like I never did. I never listened to the news. I don't care about the news. I don't care about what's happening on the other side of the San Jacinto Mountains. All I care about is where I'm at here in the valley. Sure, I care about world peace and, hunger and all of that stuff. Right. But unless it's a major catastrophe, I don't want to hear about what's going on a daily basis at Wall Street. I don't want to hear that the stocks are going up $2 a share. I don't want to hear that the market has dropped 600 points, because that puts everything in your mind that prevents you from doing the job that you need to do. If you hear that the market's crashing, then you're like, and then rates are going to go up, then you're psychologically thinking, oh my God, well, then what the hell am I doing here? How am I going to actually sell houses? Nobody's going to be out buying houses. Nobody can afford loans. So I kind of just persevere and just move forward, pull up my bootstraps and keep moving. If I've got to speak to 100 people a month to be able to get 10 people in a talking mood or in the first stages of perhaps buying or selling their home, then and that drops off and I need to talk to 200, then I need to speak to 200. And it's basically just getting out in front of people, doing open houses, and blasting all your advertising. I was on television at one time, on radio, full page ads in all of the magazines, and I made sure that no matter where I went, whether it was at the gym or a grocery store, somebody would go, "Oh my God, I saw you on TV. Aren't you the guy that jumped into the pool with all your clothes on?" Yes, I am. Basically, with home sales on the rise and interest rates at historic lows, now's a great time to dive into the housing market. And I dive right into the pool with all my clothes on, and it would go ching like a cash register. So people would remember that. So put a little bit of whimsy into it, and because I didn't know anybody, and you have to do what you have to do. Either I'm going to sit back and not allow my success to happen, or you're going to create your own destiny. I'm Greek, and my grandfather used to always tell me, Alpha Omega. You create the beginning and do your own destiny. You're the end. A long-winded answer to your question, right?
It's a fabulous answer. Now, what would you recommend? It's great because you're so right on the button. It's like you can take the gloom and doom, or you can make it happen for yourself. Now, clearly you had money behind you to do these full-page ads, radio interviews, and stuff like that. If you didn't have the money, would you just be going to, shaking people's hands all over town? How would you do that?
Well, yes. I was earning $20,000 a year as a transaction coordinator, and I was spending about $54,000 a year in advertising. So I was kind of in the hole about $30,000 for the first 2 years. What you need to do is you need to do open houses. That is where you can. That's where people can see an ad in a newspaper. They can see your photo. They can see it in a magazine. But if you've got the gift of gab, if you're really good with your, the stories that you tell, and you're credible, and you can make a connection with the client, that's what you need to do. And that's really where I excel. If I'm at an open house, to me, an open house on Saturday and Sunday is game day. I used to tell all my salesmen that at the auto dealership. Sure, we would sell, 4 or 5 cars a day, but on Saturday and Sundays, that was the Super Bowl for us. We practice all week long to get to that weekend, and I expected to sell 25 to 30 cars Saturday and Sunday. If we didn't do 50, 60 cars come Monday morning, heads would roll, and there is no excuses. We just make it happen, and it's the same with real estate. The weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is game day for me. There's no bars, there's no alcohol, there's no going out. I stay at home. I prepare my documents if I'm going to be doing an open house at Vista Las Palmas or whichever neighborhood I'm in, the movie colony. I prepare all of the comps. I put a binder together. I've got folders on myself with a bio about me, bio about the company, the real estate market, positive trends, that I can show people, because people want to see credibility. They want to see it in black and white. Mm-hmm. Your jaws can be moving 100 miles an hour, but until you can show it to them and back it up in black and white, they're not really going to believe you. Trust but verify, as Ronald Reagan said, so people will listen to you, but you want to make that connection. So if you're at an open house and you meet and greet them when they first come in, you're not like some of the other realtors sitting on a couch with a magazine or watching television. You greet them
and barely look up, and
I know,
yeah.
Exactly. They don't even, and that's what happened to me when I was buying my house here. I walked in flip-flops and shorts, and the guy ignored me. And I was buying $1 million house. So he lost the sale, and, that's just the way it is. You need to meet and greet them, welcome them to the home, give them a quick overview. People don't want to be inundated with all this knowledge. They don't want to hear, oh, this house is fabulous, this house is this house is that, you need to buy it, when do you want to open escrow? They don't even know if they want to live in that neighborhood. So what you want to do is basically greet them, give them your name, who you're with, give them a quick overview. By the way, for your information, this house is 3,000 square feet. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. It's been renovated. Some of the special features are X, Y, and Z. Please walk around, enjoy the house. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. Here's my business card, by the way, so you can remember my name. And they give you your name, you let them walk around. When they're coming out, you ask them if they have any questions. What they like best about the house? What they like least about the house? Would they consider making an offer on the house? Is it a house that they perhaps could see them and their family living in? No. Well, what didn't you like about it? What would you change about this house? Well, it's a little expensive. Well, hey, wonderful. Hey, take a look at this. I just happened to put these comps together for this neighborhood. This house kind of rates in the middle. We also have this house, and this house, which is right around the corner, which is substantially less. This house is 1.1 million. There are also some in the sevens and the eight. Oh, well, that's still a little more than I wanted to spend. Well, the neighborhood right next door is this, and they could be bought for this price. Do you think that'd be fit you and the family a little bit? On and on and on. The bottom line is that you want to make a connection with them. You don't want to be pushy. And if they don't want, if they're standoffish, then you just leave them alone. If they want to engage you and they want the information, wonderful. Then it's your time to do what you do best, and hey, I'm off at 3:00. Would you like to go out and take a look at a few houses when I'm done? First of all, you need to make sure, are you working with another broker? And if they say no, then you ask, well, would you like to go out and take a look at a few this afternoon or tomorrow morning? Or I'm also free on Monday. So that's what I did, and I used to do double open houses on Saturdays and Sundays. I'd do them from 11 to 1. I'd come home, I'd have lunch, or my husband would bring me lunch, and then I would go from 2 to 4. And I would do double open houses on Saturdays and Sundays because I needed to build up, a database of clients. And it was tough. It was tough for the first 2 years. We were not making any money, and I was blowing hundreds of thousands of dollars on my own living expenses and everything, but, it paid off. 3 years into it, on my third year is when I think my third year, I hit 50 grand, basically breaking even for what I was spending. And then until my fourth year, when I started, I think I hit 170 or 180 grand. And from then on, it was, sky's the limit. So you've got to put in the time. People that think that they can just waltz in and become a realtor and it's easy. The national average for income for a realtor is about $26,000. Good realtors make $100,000, and the really good ones are in the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. If you want to be a really good one, you need to put in the time, the effort, and the investment. Not only monetarily, but you've got to put it in emotionally and physically.
So it makes me think that you aren't spending Saturday and Sunday by the pool.
Well, I am now. Actually, you can find me every Sunday at Polo and every Saturday probably on the golf course. But, I'm not diligently doing open houses as much as I used to because I've been doing this for 6 years now, and I've got a lot of repeat referral business, and people just seek me out, if they've got an expensive property. They know who to call. So I am still doing open houses. I still do everything I need to do. And when I take a listing from a client, that's the other important thing. When you're listing a $1 million+ home, these clients don't want you to bring your associate or your assistant. They want you there. They're hiring Benjamin Liasco. So who better than myself to sell the house? If I take a $1 million listing and then send one of my assistants there, guess what? You're not going to have a listing a week later. They're hiring you because of who you are and how good you are. So when I do take on listings, I'm very blessed that we just sold out of everything during the construction. But yeah, you'll find me at open houses. I generally do them on Saturdays because Sundays clients are usually leaving, the desert to go back to wherever they're going. So Sunday I kind of take off, but I'm showing houses all week long and doing open houses on the weekends. And
so you're what I can infer from what you just said, most of your clients are buying second or third homes, not primary residences.
Well, it's kind of, I would have to say that, it's probably a 50-50. I probably have clients that are either upgrading to a larger home or downgrading, getting rid of the large home that they had, and now they want to have a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 house because they're older, they're retiring, and they want to travel more. So we've got it going both directions, people going up, people coming down. Because it's not that important in their life. And then I've also got a lot of people buying investment properties. Investment properties in Palm Springs, single-family homes, or, 1 to 4 units is huge for me. That is a big portion of my business. Clients, at today's rates at the banks, you take $1 million and you put it in the bank, and you're lucky to make $5,000 a year in interest, if you're lucky. And at 0.5%. Versus I've got clients that will take $1 million of their money, buy a home, and they are experiencing between $80,000 and $130,000 a year in rental income. And obviously, you take away your expenses and property taxes and everything that's associated with the carrying costs of a rental investment property, but you still end up with $50,000, $60,000 net. And on $1 million, that's 5 to 6%, what we call ROI, or return on your investment. So there's a lot of people that are like, hey, this is a no-brainer. You've got to be set up with a good vacation rental company. And we have many of them in Palm Springs, Vacation Palm Springs, Orange, Bondurant Homes. There's a bunch of wonderful ones, but that's what you want to do.
Right. Now, if you have time, could you talk? You've mentioned your experience in the auto industry. Could you talk a little bit about that and how that prepared you for the real estate industry?
Okay, well,
is that a long question, a big question?
No, that's fine. I can definitely tell you that's what gave me a huge edge, because it's completely and utterly not what I do now. But what it did is teach me how to deal with clients, how to overcome objections, and how to negotiate from a powerful standpoint. Everything that I've learned in the 25 years in the auto industry has put me where I am today. And without it, I would have been just the same old anybody that, was a maitre d' or a bartender or anybody else who wanted to come and try to sell houses, Learning how to treat a client, learning the steps of what it takes to get to a sale. There's good car people and there's bad car people. In the 25 years that I was in the auto industry, never once was I sued. And when I was partners in different firms that I was in, never once did we ever get sued and ever lost. I believed in the highest level of customer satisfaction. And there's a lot of auto industry, the name's pretty synonymous with being an ambulance chaser or, a drug cartel.
Right,
when people find out that you're in the auto industry. But I was blessed to be a 5-star dealer for Daimler Chrysler, Dodge Chrysler Jeep, and you had to maintain 95 to 98% customer satisfaction across the board, and that meant in service, sales, parts, everything that was involved with an auto industry dealership. And that also included employee satisfaction. So I've learned how to interact with employees, people that work with me, care about them, their needs. They have needs, wants, and dreams and aspirations just like I have. They only want the best for their family. And they have downfalls and they have problems, and you need to be there to help them. And I'm not saying this is a big kumbaya campfire where we're all holding hands singing Dominica Nika Nika. It's just, sometimes they need monetary help, sometimes they need some extra time off for their child that's going for brain surgery in one of my instances. Sometimes they need the raise to be able to buy a house, and you need to put, bonuses and plans out there for them to be attainable goals too. These dealers that would put all of these non-obtainable bonuses out there are just ludicrous. And I believed in, look, I could fire one of my employees and be invited to their house that evening for dinner. That's how good I was. So, and it's happened many times. And as far as, you can be a car salesman where somebody walks into the dealership and you've got your hands in your pockets, you've got a cigarette dangling off your lip, and you got a pair of Foreigners on or Ray-Bans, at the point is what we used to call it, where somebody drives in and they're all standing out front and they're like, hey, going to show you a car? No. I'm here to find a greeting card for my grandmother. Of course I'm here to buy a car. If you want to take that kind of rude, idiotic treatment to a client, and you just open a car door and say, it's nice, isn't it? Want to buy it? Of course they're not going to buy the car. So I learned what we did was a walk around. You go to the mineral label, you review all of the features and benefits on the car. You open the driver's side door. You show them how it has a tilt steering wheel, how it has, lumbar support, how it has reclining bucket seats. You talk about the safety features of the door. You pop the hood. You show them the yellow knobs associated with like oil, fuel filler cap, oil filler, that type of stuff, how easy it is to do their own light maintenance. You go around to the passenger side. You talk about the safety stool, non-flat tires. You talk about dual master cylinder braking system. God forbid you lose your brakes. You still have 100% of brakes on either side of the car, both front and back, to prevent the car from fishtailing. It has safety glass, so it won't, if you hit the windshield, you won't go through it and get sliced. Basically, you go through all of the things and you teach them about the vehicle, and I kind of parlayed that over into the real estate market.
It sounds like it, yes.
Right. They want to know feature and benefit. So how is this going to benefit me, and what is the features, and what am I getting for my money? So I learned all of the architectural terms. When I train my realtors, they think it's hysterical because I will be walking into an open house and I'll say, okay, these are Washingtonian palm trees. Those are date palms. These are what they call Mexican fans. That's bougainvillea. This is jasmine. It would be like a big joke, These are travertine floors. Well, it's because when you walk into a home, it's so wonderful to be able to say, by the way, this house is 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 9 full-grown palm trees. These 3 are Washingtonians. They have the largest trunks. These 5 are Mexican fans, and that one there with the unique trunk is a date palm. This is the fruitless variety, so you're not going to have dates fall over the place and create a slippery. It could be a health hazard with somebody slipping on it and hurting themselves. I mean, you need to know these things. People want to know that it's drought resistant. Landscaping. They want to know that this Kentucky bluegrass and it needs to be scalped twice a year. There's all these things that need to be told, but you also don't want to sound like encyclopedia. There is an art to being able to do a presentation to a house and tell them about all of the features and benefits and why this house differs from the other house. So a lot of that was brought into it. Work habit from the auto industry, long hours. Understanding that every client you talk to is not going to be a sale. We used to have salesmen that would, when you would get what was called a be-back, somebody would come into the dealership and look at cars, and they might have been on their lunch break, and they need to go home. If it's their husband, maybe they need a wife. You may have the buyer, but not the decision maker.
Right.
The wife's going to make that decision. Or you may have the decision maker, but not the buyer. So you need to treat them with the utmost respect and give them the benefit of the doubt. People that always used to say buyers are liars. I can't stand that term. That is just the lowest of low. And I remember when I was learning how to sell cars that they'd say, when somebody would say, look, I'm going to go get my wife, I'll be back later. I actually had a salesman that was training me say, well, when you come back, ask for Blue Boy because I'll be in the corner of the showroom holding my breath. Well, what the hell kind of shit is that? Excuse my language. Really? You're going to say that to a client? You've got to be kidding me. So I learned how not to treat clients and subsequently excelled at selling, automobiles. Became an assistant sales manager, general sales manager, then dealer principal. So, you can either be the status quo or you can be exceptional. People want exceptional. They don't want the status quo. Everybody wants to be wonderful, wealthy, have good health, have a good family relationship. They want the best of everything. And being successful doesn't necessarily mean monetarily. Successful in life is having a good family, good friends, good relationship, good health, and if you can make money while you're living your time out on this life, then mazel tov to you. Sure, it's nice to have money and it's nice to have Cartier watches and Rolexes and new Land Rovers and Bentleys and all that. But that doesn't make one's wealth, So everything has to be taken with a grain of salt, if you will, as my grandfather used to say. So anyway, auto industry prepared me for where I am today by learning how to treat clients, how to do things, how to negotiate, how to figure out a strategy. It's almost like playing a game of chess or backgammon. When I'm negotiating a deal with the opposite, if I'm representing the seller or the buyer, I make sure I know, based on what I'm saying, what their response is going to be and how I'm going to come right back. So sometimes I plant the seed in order to sometimes you have to lose the battle to win the war. So sometimes you've got to give a little in order to get what you want for your principle that you're representing. So there is an art to it, which is the reason we have that as our slogan for our company, the art of real estate. It means two things. It's the way that we do it, and it's the way that our offices look. Okay, another long-winded answer for you.
Oh, this is in a half an hour or so, you've really given the basics of being successful in business, beginning with the relationship.
Well, thank you.
It was an excellent interview. I so appreciate the things that you shared. Can you give me information about how a listener could contact you?
Absolutely. They can contact me vis-a-vis the internet through email, Ben, B-E-N, at liascopartners.com, and that's L-E-A-S-K-O-U, partners, P-A-R-T-N-E-R-S. You can Google me, Liasco. As soon as you put that in, it'll come right up, or via the cell phone, 760-799-4290.
That's great, and I'll include a link in the description for this interview. I'll include a link to your website. Thank you so much, Benjamin. This has been wonderful, and thank you for giving us your time to talk to us today.
My pleasure.